Hello, namaste, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to see you again.
Likewise.
So, today we are meeting to discuss the issue of relationships, which is, it should be something that we can all do. But more and more people are having a difficulty in connecting with a partner, especially in a long-term level. It could be also with family members, with colleagues, with our neighbors, but on a more direct and daily level with our partner. And I wanted to ask you, because you speak with so many people who come to you for guidance and help, what you have seen from this point of view and what you have thought about it.
Well, this problem really exists in this world, everywhere. And this is something like which is common for every single country, to be very honest. So, this problem cannot be sorted out until we understand the source of the problem. And the source of the problem is that people don't try to understand each other. Like when two people initially fall in love, the kind of like promises that they make to each other and the words that they use to each other and that kind of immense and intense love doesn't exist later on. Like it just exists like when they're lovers actually. And when it becomes as a relationship commitment, like when they get married or start to live together or something, the love somewhat like doesn't sustain there. It's because like when they are lovers actually, they're not they're not busy with judging each other. They're not busy about like watching each other's life so much. All that exists between them is only love. So this is why like teenagers are more happy in their love life than some people like who are married for a long time. And even those who are married for a long time, even they too have some problems sometimes. They too have some arguments sometimes. And all this exists because when they are in love initially, then there is only love. There is nothing else in between.
But is it love or is it illusion and projection of our best self on the other?
I think like when a person falls in love with another person, I think it's love initially. Most of the cases. Of course, there are some cases like where they are just having kind of infatuation or some kind of attraction. It can be physical attraction, it can be material attraction, it can be the charisma or the charm that the person brings with him. It can be also. But in most of the cases, they fall in love, honestly. And when they fall in love, actually, it can be in a different place, It can be in a party, it can be in a union of a family, or it can be happening in a church where they see someone there. So they don't know about the story between the two people so much, about the family backgrounds or nothing like. They're not just scared about that. They will be like, wow, something like touching my heart. So this is why like the love begins. And slowly there will be death of love when this human mind comes into the play. Because the very first moment they fall into the love, they don't feel satisfied anymore later on. Because the next thing will be to make that person as my commodity, as my object. And I want to control now. I want to set rules now. Like, okay, you have to be like this. You should not be like that. Then you should do exactly this one. Because I am telling you that. And I am right. You are wrong. And all these things like dramas, when it starts to come, I think love and slowly will disappear.
So it's the ego basically that comes in.
Exactly. It's the ego that comes in. Because no one actually, in a relationship, as I have seen here, like for the past 7 years, no one thinks like, what's good for my partner? Never seen this one. Everyone thinks like, what I can get from my partner. It's more of asking. No one thinks of giving it once at least. Just to give once and to see. But the very logic in this whole game is so simple that If you give, then you will get it back. You don't need to ask about that. If you honestly, with all your love and soul, if you give it, whole universe will conspire to make this happen. But people don't believe in love. That's the problem.
Why
then
not?
Love is because the people have not understood love. People think like even when you observe two people when they are coming together for proposing to each other, you know, like the moment boy or the girl says like "I love you," and the another and this person who says "I love you" is waiting like a beggar to hear the same thing back from the person. You know, it's like, okay, please tell me I love you also. Please tell me, like, you know, it's like a begging. But you know, the quality of love is not so. In fact, the whole love is not so. Love is just about what you feel, and love is about giving from your abundance of love that everybody on this planet has, with no difference, absolutely. Because everyone is created on this planet equally, with same amount of love, with same amount of energy, with same amount of blessings. But it all matters like how they want to channel this one. If they spend too much of time on all these unwanted things, then they don't have energy left out to channel through love. And that's why they expect someone to love them. They expect someone to ask for them and everything, because they are not connected inside. Until a person loves himself, it is impossible for them to love anybody. Because if they cannot love their own self, how can they love someone else? It is impossible. And this is what every person in a relationship needs to understand, that the first relationship that they need to build is with themselves. They need to have good relationship with themselves. And when they have good relationship with themselves, they have better understanding about who they are and their very source, which is God. And when people have that connection and relationship with the God, everything will be possible. And that's why I tell that in relationship what is very important is to connect with themselves first. That's very, very important. And once they connect with themselves, understanding who they are, and try to questioning this one. Maybe we will not get the answer in just 2 or 3 minutes or something like that, because this is a question of the very existence of our being. But the very, very question will lead them to something. So that's why, according to me, love is a state of awareness. It's a state of awareness. It's not something, a word to be uttered, or it's not a statement to be made. It's not something to be said. But it's a state of awareness in which everyone should feel once, because no two human beings are the same. Every human being is different. Although on consciousness level, everyone are the same, but on the level of mind, everyone is different. Everyone thinks differently, and that's the beauty of this existence. If everybody were thinking in the same way and acting in the same way, then world would have been very, very boring. So to make it more entertaining, you know, like the creation has made in such a way that like everyone is different. And when we know that everybody is different, then we should not try to impose our ideas on someone. What is very good thing for a successful long-term relationship is that understanding a person, trying to know how the person is, and trying to love him or her in their own way. You know, it's all about accepting, mutual respect, and when accepting and mutual respect comes, then the next part will be to see the person as it is. Just like without any kind of judgment. Because we know like we can't change a person. We know like we can't do anything about this person, because this is the way the person is. And even if he tries to be something else, he's just forcing it actually. It's just an acting, and it's not real. And we cannot kill the real being of a person. It's impossible. Because even if we try to do it, it will not be for a long time. After some time, it will again come back to the same. So let's not change something and go back to the same thing again and again, which doesn't make sense. Rather, let's do something like, okay, you are like this, I love you in this way. Okay? And when we love them in that way, even they too will start to love us in the way we are. So we will not have these arguments to change themselves to us or ourselves to them. We will love each other the way that we are. In this way, there will be only love now. There is no kind of judgment in between the people. So acceptance and mutual respect. And another one is also very, very important, which people don't do it 99% of the time, which is to a little bit compromise. They have to compromise on our way of functioning sometimes. Maybe we have a little bit of anxiety, a little bit crazy, and like we go, we can be like tensed for no reason, and they have to handle us for that. We have maybe bad mood swings, and even like they have their own set of functioning also. I would not call it as a problem. I would call it as like the way of functioning of human being, the way like each and everyone expresses themselves. So when people know like there is different way of expressing with everyone, then for me like we need to understand the person first of all, like how the person behaves, how the person is, and this is what like without understanding like why the person is behaving in this way and what their background is and everything, it's impossible to even understand a person because we don't know from what kind of background the person comes, what kind of childhood the person had, what kind of parents they had, and what kind of upbringing of the child was like, and what kind of like environment the child was raised, and their teenage and their university times, and like later on everything comes. So we need to understand a person in and out by really understanding and not judging in this process. Like when we are observing these things, somewhere something will irritate us and we will immediately start to judge. That one we have to stop because we know that we should not do this, but still we will do it. Because knowing is knowledge, but doing is wisdom. And that's the difference. And we all know like many things about everything. This is what I say to people that before starting the satsangs. I tell them like what we are discussing today, this is not something which you don't know. You know it actually. But I'm just repeating once again now so that it goes into your mind and gets transformed from the knowledge which is stored at one point to wisdom.